Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
I was going to wear my bomber hat this morning, but it just wasn't going with my vibe.
Well, it's too early in the week. You gotta, I wear mine every day.
What are you wearing today?
A jean skirt.
Yeah, you could have.
I could have. It just wasn't going with my
jacket.
It was the jacket?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've got the silver pleather jacket going. You can't wear the bomber hat with
Wouldn't
that.
have
I don't
worked.
think.
But for someone like you,
Phil wouldn't have worked.
It had been terrible. Joe and I would have been rolling our eyes.
Phil's wearing his.
Every time but this thing's like stitched to my head. I have a gold eye hat that
True.
I mix in every now and then, but mostly it's this bomber hat.
Most get hair transplants. Phil got a hat transplant.
I did.
It's sewing right in.
That thing ain't going nowhere.
And if my wife had her way, she doesn't like this hat, I need a new one. You know, it's gotten to a point where I use it to cut the grass, and it starts to. I wouldn't say it stinks. It doesn't stink, but it's just
stains.
It stains. It's got the. I wear it. I should have a hat for yard work, but I love this hat, so I wear it to do everything. But you, Kirby, what I was going to say is, for someone like that doesn't wear bomber gear every day, you got to wear it closer. When you throw it on, it's got to be either the day before the game or game day. I see you as a game day kind of person.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna print the schedule off and I'll hang it up in my dressing room there, and I'll
dressing room. Yeah, your people get you ready.
That's
in your
where
dressing
most.
room.
Well,
That's where
I have
most
a
people
room.
keep their
I
calendar.
have a room where I get dressed in.
Yes, you do. A dressing
Yes.
room. Very.
Yeah, it's got a star on the door with the name Kirby. That's awesome.
It has my vanity and
Yeah.
everything in there,
Oh.
you know? That's where I get ready.
Can you imagine a situation where somebody actually crowded Kirby and took up too much space? That would never happen. And if it does happen, that guy's out, right? Is that a true? I'm not beating you up for it. I'm just saying, you're in your abode, in your home.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. This is my room for getting ready. This is my room for doing this. Don't ever cramp my style, right?
Every single relationship I've had that I've lived with the other person, I've always had an extra room.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she meant with when she told the guy, I need my space. And she literally meant, I need my space. This room, that room.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Okay, Monday morning, we got the one, the only Vinny, who seems to be in a pretty good mood this morning. You get two sides of Vinny. You get the one where he's mad at a lot of things, and then you get the one where he's full of compliments.
Did this call come before the 8-1 Oilers win?
He doesn't mention hockey in this.
Oh, this is not a Dr. Hockey call.
No,
His alias.
this is-
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what up? Anyways, I've been listening to radio for many years. Radio sucks, but there is one rock station called 92. And listen, radio doesn't really play good music, but 92, they are a kick-ass station. I have to say that. To me, they're the best station ever. Never heard a good rock station like 92.1, or what is it? 92.1 City, something like that. But no, City kicks ass. I'm not kidding you. They play stuff wow, I can't believe they're playing this. So I give 92 prompts because all radio sucks. I got my station glued. I'm not kidding you. Well, I got City. It's my station. I love City. Glued. I can't change the station anymore. So I'll give you prompts, City. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
I think he means props, but whatever. It's we know what he meant.
Yeah.
He wasn't giving us prompts. But
I do that all the time.
He's right. Look, I know I work here, but I've been listening to City my whole life, long before I ever worked here. So thank you, Vinny.
Me
We
too.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Remember the launch back in 78, actually.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
April 1st.
I go back to, I know you might have worked with him, but Brother Jake and Peppermint Patty, that morning show.
I do. Brother Jake emceed my wedding back in 1993.
Would that have been in this studio? This exact studio we're sitting
No,
in?
the first one was at Polo Park where CKY TV was part of the building, and upstairs was KY58 Radio and the Badass Rock Station. Hey, Jake Edwards in the morning. Hey.
That's awesome. Okay, we don't get, and this may be one of the first, a complaint about transit service. Maybe you got, not many, right? If we do at all. So definitely worth playing.
Yeah, I just want to make a point about the transit bus service. The problem with the transit service is they're either too bloody late or they're too bloody early. Today I was getting to my bus stop. My bus was due about 1:09. But it was 5 minutes too early when I just got to my stop. So I had to wait another 30 minutes for the next one. So come on, you guys. You hike the fare every bloody year. Plus, got some better service, you off.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to wait, right? If they're there early.
Remember when I took the bus when we were working downtown at our other workplace?
Yeah, you used to
there?
take the bus, and I'd pick you up every now and then.
Yeah, well, there was
Yeah.
that one time that you pulled up on the
Nicest
on the
thing
street and you were like, "Hey, Kirby, get in!"
Second nicest thing I ever did for her.
Tell the whole story if you're going to tell the story.
Wow.
You took the bus home from work because you were offered a cab to work because you didn't want to take your car to work.
Because you don't want to pay for parking.
You didn't
Because
want
it
to
was
pay
a
for
4-minute
parking.
drive.
Right, but
Yes.
you the big one. You did.
Yes.
It's okay. Lots
Yes,
of people
it's
say
okay.
I can't fathom paying for parking when it's
Well-
a 4-minute drive and I just couldn't walk at 4 a.m.
There you go.
No, 100%. But you only took the bus a few times. It wasn't a
Well,
daily
I was
routine.
I went on the transit, okay?
This poor guy.
Miss Transit.
This poor guy. It's okay. Kirby on Kirby. I understand the book's coming. This guy is obviously somebody who takes the bus pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So time would mean a lot, and it was a 30-minute wait outside. Like, I don't know, maybe he's on his way to work, right?
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than missing the bus.
Yeah.
But they have the telebus system, right, where you punch in your number and it tells you what time the bus is coming. So hopefully lets us be, I hope that was a one-off on that route where the guy was early and just took off.
Nothing worse than seeing someone running for the bus. And
I
they-
know.
Oh,
and the
man.
bus drives away. Ugh.
True. Okay, this woman, a little frustrated with traffic here.
Hi, Philly Joe and Kirby. I've got a bone to pick with Winnipeg drivers who don't frickin' wave. I know you guys censor this out, so I hope it's okay to swear, but it's annoying. And especially when people, like, I let people in all the time, especially to zipper merge. It's annoying. Just wave. It's the nice thing to do. It takes 3.5 seconds. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Love your show. Bye.
Swear anytime you want. I get as many beeps as I can, and you don't have to worry about it. As far as waving, I agree with her. Waving's at an all-time low.
Yeah.
We need to wave more.
Wave
Bring the
more.
wave back.
It's nice. I love that we get both sides to every story. Like even on the Boston Pizza text line right now, the transit call is eliciting some responses. One thinks it's absolute garbage. The other one says there's a live app now, and it's absolutely great.
That
you
is
can even,
good to hear.
Yeah.
You can even track where you are while on the bus.
My transit schedule used to be a pamphlet, like an actual
Yes.
paper schedule. I'd pull it out. And
How do you think I felt? My father worked for the transit. There was no choice but to take the bus.
Oh, man.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
So here's what I did. I've got a list of the people I'm for sure behind as far as inner office goes, because Joe's going to get the number one buddy shirt. That's been determined.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
one buddy. He's got
yeah.
you've told him that. That's confirmed.
It's honestly, something bad would have to happen in order for Joe to drop out of first
Wow.
place.
No, wow. What
That's
would-
a lot of pressure.
Okay, so he's got number one nailed down, and then
Yeah.
the joke was, well, I'm number two, and then we realized I don't think I'm number two because you have lots of office buddies, and why would I be two automatically? I'm not number
Well, I
two.
was just thinking inside the room.
I made a ranking. And I don't know.
You did.
I put together what I see as the ranking within the office
Oh.
and where I fall.
I'm interested to find out here where you think you fall.
You are.
And who's ahead of you?
I'll just tell you before I go on my list here, I have myself at number 8. So my shirt would say...
Eight?
My shirt would say Kirby's number 8, buddy. Yours would say number 1.
Wow.
Yours, you could put great at
What a
number 8
gap.
Grade 8.
if you want. Yeah.
I don't think at 8 you're anything great. Like, there's no way you can
rhymes,
be. You're
that's
wearing
all.
You're
Just
wearing
trying to
one.
make you feel,
Place.
you might as well get a participation sticker. for that one.
Trying to make me feel better. Okay.
Who's ahead of you?
Okay, Joe at number 1 with a bullet. We've been through that. Number 2, Angus, the promo guy here at City. He's got to be 2. You talk about Angus all the time. You hang out all the time. You go to concerts with him. He's 2.
I was just with him on Saturday
Good
at,
kid.
at a remote at Krevco, and he was telling me, yeah, he's a big fan of Kirby's.
Right.
But I didn't even know this. I said, hey, how's it going? Where are you living now? Because I knew he was looking for a place. He says, oh, I'm just a few blocks away from Kirby.
Yeah.
that's
We've been
insane.
Yes.
meaning to meet up to go for like a walk or something.
So you know what? Definitely good call on that. I'd give him number 2 now, too.
I'll go through it. If you want to switch any of these around, go right ahead.
Okay,
So
I just want to add though, Angus and I only go to concerts together.
Yes, you do.
Because we're both single and we both
Oh.
only need one ticket, so we decide
And-
to go together.
What
Those
else?
tickets are
Free.
Free
Well,
tickets.
he works in promotions. I can't help that he has the
Oh, no
hookup.
wonder he might be number one. Somebody on the Boston Pizza text line said, "This is a good idea, Phil. You should just put a question mark on yours."
Can I tell you a quick funny story about Angus? Really quick. So some tickets of a show I really wanted to go to. There was a concert that came through town, and I was on location with him. And I'm like, yeah, I'd really like to get my hands on some tickets. And I don't get a lot of tickets here. And he goes, oh man, that's a tough one to get. Good luck getting free ones for that. Kirby and I already got ours.
Yes.
Well, you gotta have it in.
Good luck.
You're not even number 2 on Angus's list.
Okay. Number 3, I've got Ian, our music director. And he's your number 3 buddy. He has to be because you spent a lot of time in that office, whether he wants it or not. And look, you've got his Disney Plus password.
And I've known him from back in the day in
Yes.
Alberta.
Captive audience there, number 3. Good picks, Phil.
Number 4, Misty.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Over there, she works with sales.
Yeah. That's
she-
her
She's a
girl.
good time. Yep.
chat with her a
We've
lot.
gone out for a few wine nights.
Number 5, one of the sales reps here, Trina. And her, I've got her and Carrie because you hang out with those
Well,
two.
those two come as a package deal.
But I got them 5, 6. So they have to be. They got to get their own slot. They're interchangeable, though. Right.
Oh, yeah, they're top 5. That's
Top
good
5
enough
for
for
sure,
them.
yeah.
They just like to go
Double
out.
trouble. Yeah.
So that gets me to 6. Number 7, top buddy. Now this is one that stings a lot. If in fact you agree with this, it's Kylie. Now she works out of Toronto.
Oh.
Now I'm even behind someone that work because you chat with her a lot, right?
You know what? She's part of the company, not even working out of Winnipeg, and she's ahead of Phil.
I've never even met the woman
Hey.
in person.
You want the coup de grace? Because I thought, yes, that's true.
I've never met her.
I thought the next person you were going to mention before this, Kylie. Honestly, I thought you were going to put Iron Mike
Oh,
ahead
yeah,
of
he's
yourself
ahead of
because
me.
they talk a lot too.
They do. She goes in there a lot.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
so
you got to put the boss in there because
They-
then that gets me good points.
You're still top 10.
You went to wrestling with Mike, so yeah.
Well, that wasn't by choice.
That's
but,
harsh.
Well, what do you mean by choice? He didn't drag you there.
What, he put you in a duffel bag? And
told me that I had to go.
So are we satisfied then with 9?
Well, wait a second. So you're right, Phil. You're not number 8. You're number 9.
Number 9, top buddy. The
Might as
shirts.
well make it 10.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
We were just talking about, Kirby's buddies. This is a great idea on the Boston Pizza text line that came in saying that, maybe just a bunch of number 2 buddy T-shirts, kind of generic. Everybody's their second best friend,
After
right?
you, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what
What
else
an
is-
honor.
Well, that would soften the blow for me being number 9. Number 9 buddy.
Yeah.
In the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
I'm okay with that, though.
being number
See,
9.
that's the problem I have is that you're okay with being number
pretty
9.
okay
Like,
with
that
it. Yeah.
is the problem.
Number 9 is way down the list when you need something. That's the key, right? Like you got you got a lot of other buddies to go through if something happens, and something.
You don't want to be there for me more than.
Hey, who dug you out of the snow that time? So
I think you understand by him saying he wants to be number 9 that he's not working his way up the ladder here. He's in no rush to move up the ladder is what he's saying.
he's
No,
number
I
1 for a
picked up
reason.
on that.
He's number 1 for a reason because you never get past 1. He's always there for you.
Yeah, but he always is. Yep.
I'll tell you what other memo you guys we need to talk about that's happening in the workplace right now, and it's a thing that this company calls success factors. It's essentially a performance review, and most companies now have put these in play, right, for some accountability or something that you can measure yourself for, right?
Yeah, right.
With your job.
Annual review where you
Yeah.
talk about, and look, we joke about it, but it's obviously a good tool to have in place.
Yeah. Well, there's a list now that is, this has come from bosses, this list, about phrases not to use at work anymore.
Like in one of these meetings or just in general?
Like when you're sitting down with the staff, let's say in the boardroom, or you're having a pizza lunch or some potluck lunch, and the boss says, hey, time to do a little bit of digging here. We got to do a little soul searching, right? We're not hitting our numbers. We got to think outside the box. Well, that overused statement, apparently bosses themselves are saying, get rid of it.
Think
Start
outside the
using
box?
Stuff. Yeah. Start using stuff like
Yeah.
a little bit easier, like
makes sense.
be creative, that kind of thing.
Think outside the box is typically something a boss will bring up.
Yes.
Like when they're telling you to, I don't know,
Think outside the box.
get more creative.
Synergy.
Oh my God, synergy. I would walk out of a meeting if somebody said synergy.
You would not. You love meetings.
Well, I do like them.
Cha
but-
cha 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 cha
What
cha.
what is being synergized with synergy? Yeah. How about just use words like team effort, that kind of thing. Something
There's
a little
no
simple.
I in team.
You
That's right.
you coined that phrase, I think, didn't you?
You're built to be a leader. Leverage. Leverage is another one
Leverage,
that can get used. Low-hanging fruit. Move the needle is not being used anymore. That
We're
one's
not
over.
moving the needle.
We're
are
not
we?
moving the needle anymore. And this one's my favorite of all time because it's kind of a blow-off. It can be used as something dismissive. Circle back. We'll circle back on that. You throw out a great idea you've been pumped about, and they'll go,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
great, let's circle back on that one.
Let me just think about it. Let me
Yeah.
think about how I can make that idea seem like it came from me.
Yeah.
And then we'll circle back to it. Pivot's another one that gets
Pivot's a great one.
Pivot.
All I think about is that scene in Friends when I hear the word pivot, when they're trying to move the couch up the staircase.
Right. Pivot! Yes.
All right, and that's a good reminder. Get those job reviews in, you guys. Come on, I think the
Yeah.
reminders keep
You've
coming.
got one thing to work on, and there's only one person that you have to pass a test with. It's this young lady right here.
Yeah, your performance
Number
review
9.
isn't going very well over here, Aubrey.
Your success factor should say you want to finish top 3. Be accountable,
No,
Aubrey.
I don't. I do not.
Wow!
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly, Joe, and Kirby, The Extra. I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. We certainly are enjoying putting it together. This Extra is a lot of fun that we do. Mm-hmm. Gives us a chance to talk about something that maybe we wouldn't normally, or something that didn't make the show for whatever reason. So it's nice.
Yeah, we kind of ran out of time on this on the show. We just touched it.
Yeah,
we just touched it today.
And it came up because your girl, Christy's a teacher.
Teaches French immersion kindergarten, and she has her 2 classes this week because they're down to the final 10 days. And she was excited because 2 of them are farm days, which means the kids get to put on their rubber boots and go to. I didn't get all the details. Okay, the story was going a little long, but it was
Selective hearing at its finest.
The details were in there, but you just didn't get them.
Yeah, I think it's like a regular farm where they have educational things going on with some animals for the kids, which they get a kick out of, stuff like that. So I don't think it's a hobby farm is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah. And I was kind of saying, my boys, they're, like all the kids are into the final month, and it's been activities like that left, right, and center, like field day.
Yeah, field day.
Random, it's a nice day, let's go play football outside. Like that last month, like June for the kids, is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I will say this. As soon as someone says field day to me, I don't know if it's like that Pavlov's dog theory or whatever it is, but I get that taste of that orange drink, that McDonald's mix. They used to come in the big cooler before Gatorade was even around.
The best.
Remember? And that's what they had at field day.
The most exciting thing ever, the orange syrup. Like how to get prepared to do track events and exercise all day. What's better than orange syrup?
Yeah.
That orange syrup.
Yes.
I don't even think I was so lazy. I don't even think I took part in field day. I was just standing around the field and I kept going back for more drink. Hey, what'd you shoot in the shot put? What? I remember.
I've been drinking the McDonald's orange drink all day. What are you talking about? But there, if you think back, there was all kinds of fun things like that I can remember. Remember that big parachute thing you used to do outside?
Oh, yeah, in the gym,
or
too.
in the gym
Yeah.
where you go underneath the parachute.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, was that wild or what? That was guaranteed chaos
Did
and
you have
fun.
the scooter boards? So, as kids, these little tiny things you'd sit on with wheels and you'd roll around to the gym.
Yeah. Those are still
yeah.
around.
Kids would always roll over their fingers.
Yeah, ouch.
But I have to ask Kirby, because you and I both grew up in the city. So for a small town girl, what would have been a field trip for you guys?
Just a small town girl
I don't think
living
singing
in a
was the-
lowly. Okay, sorry.
Apparently singing.
Actually, you know what? This is a big memory for me. We used to, last day of school in elementary, in every grade that I went to at this school, we would get to walk as a class all the way to 7-Eleven, which was just down the street.
Oh, wow.
And then we'd all have to bring money from home, and we would get to buy a Slurpee and then we could all walk back to school, back to the school. But I'll tell you that. Thank God for that teacher, because corralling us to the 7-Eleven and then all of us getting Slurpees in there, and the workers at 7-Eleven, that day was always chaos.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, mine have done that. They had, and just recently, my youngest went for Slurpee Day.
Oh,
and they did the exact same activity you just explained.
See, they're going to probably remember those days.
Oh, they love
That's
that
great.
stuff. We went to 7th and got Slurpees.
A lot of us did it during school, and it was our own Slurpee day back in my day.
Oh, man. Well, it's
2 weeks left,
2 weeks left. I know. I'm getting the countdown. The kids love the countdown to the end of school.
And teachers are counting down as well, I'm sure. Hey, Christy's probably just excited for summer break.
I would throw that in for anybody working in the school system actually is waiting for that summer break for sure. Not all parents.
No,
Not all
because
parents.
you
It's
got to find something to do with the kids all of a sudden in a
I'm
couple
bored.
of weeks. Yeah,
You get that 2 minutes into the day.
definitely. All right, that's the PJK Extra.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
There's a video of a woman online, and she's at a sporting event. She's got a beer and a Smokie, and she takes the Smokie out of the bun, cleans the mustard off it, takes a straw, pokes like a hole lengthwise through the Smokie. So it basically, and then starts using the Smokie as a straw. So the hole goes all the way through this so that you can put the Smokie back in the beer and suck up the beer through the Smokie. Does that make sense what I'm explaining to you?
Yes.
So she made a straw out of the Smokie
Yes, you explained it much better than I did. She turns the Smokie into a straw.
to drink her beer.
To drink her beer, yes.
That's a waste of a Smokie.
Well, I don't know what I'm not...
Why do you need that?
I'm not sure I understand the whole idea here that you like your beer to taste like a Smokie. That's bizarre. I have no idea.
What's wrong with the old school way of washing down the Smokie with a beer?
Absolutely.
Right?
Some people just want their viral moment, you know?
She's an older lady, though, so she doesn't look
Oh,
like...
wow.
Yeah, she looks like someone who maybe...
Does this on the regular.
Well, it just doesn't look like your typical I'm looking for a viral moment woman.
And this was at a ball game?
It's some kind of a sporting event. I can't tell what sporting event it is,
Wow.
but somewhere where you could get a nice looking Smokie and a beer.
And that's what she chooses to do with it. Okay.
Turn her wiener,
I'm happy for her.
Turn a wiener into a straw. Not something I would ever do. Bizarre. She could have watched someone do it in her life and tried it and thought that's not bad. That's usually what happens.
No, but the other thing that I saw go viral sports-wise was the beer snake line they were creating at the Oilers game there outside at the party. These guys were lined up, there must have been I don't know, thousands of these glasses, and these guys took about 6-7 guys to start moving this thing around. What was the point of it all? I have no idea. Why wouldn't you just want to party? But these guys were moving around, stacking cups.
The beer snake. I wonder where they got that idea from. Does that still happen at Bomber Games? No, right? It went away with there was some rules that said you can't do
at
it
one time
back in the day.
Yeah.
But we used to be legendary at Bomber Games for the beer snake. Huge beer snakes.
Right.
The things people will do when they've had a few beers and they have a bunch of beer cups, right?
But a Smokie as a straw and a beer, that's ridiculous.
I'm going to have to try that at a Bomber game.
No, you're not. Don't.
People will hate you.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
And with summer soon to be in full swing and many hot and sunny days hopefully expected, experts are emphasizing that we need to protect ourselves from the sun. When it comes to applying sunscreen, the most common mistake that we make is only applying it once when we're supposed to be reapplying it every 2 to 4 hours.
Man, times have changed. Remember the days when, Joe, you'd put on Johnson's baby oil and just go walking around the neighborhood, you'd oil yourself.
He still does that.
Smelling like coconut there. I like that coconut oil one.
Just glistening.
Was it copper tan?
Are you sweating? No, I'm tanning.
Copper tone.
Are you burning? No, frying, actually. Copper tone, remember? Stuff was like oil. It's like you might as well just pour a bottle of canola oil on top of you and just stand out in the sun back in the day.
You can literally look at your skin and see it sizzling like it's in a pan.
Yeah, like bacon, huh?
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Text line this morning. How about a Philly Joe cage match for number one buddy status with Kirby? Not happening.
Well, see, I knew that. You're not going to fight for me.
I'm completely, look, you need to be self-aware in life. I'm completely comfortable with, what did we decide? Number 9? Number 9.
You gave yourself number 9.
Yeah, you need to compile a list, though, I guess. That was my list I gave myself. Judging from what I see around the office and all the buddies you have around the office, I gave myself number 9 buddy status.
And you're okay with it.
And I'm completely comfortable with it. Joe's number 1. You said that. That's where all this started. That Joe is your number 1 buddy and that you're going to get him a shirt.
You would think that he'd be a little bit more excited about that, but...
No, it's a lot to take in, really. Like
it's a big honor.
One of the biggest honors I've ever received.
Is being my number 1 buddy?
It's right up there.
Well, I mean, it does come with some responsibilities, like I said.
Some.
Like, you got to be there for me. You got to listen to me.
I think that's what gets you to number 1, isn't it? Being there for you and listening. It hasn't stopped.
That's why you're number 1, Joe.
Every morning from about 5:15 till 6. That's
Depends
where it
on
starts.
the day.
Yeah.
When my number 1 buddy right here has had a long night, it's more like 5:25. But I'm here waiting. I'm the one texting her, hey, you all right?
Yeah, he does. He makes trouble a lot.
You gotta make it to work today.
Are you going to make it in?
I'm convinced that if I ever passed away and you guys were like, where's Kirby? Joe would be most concerned.
I have to
okay?
say this. My other number 1 buddy at home, right? My wife. I've got 2 number 1 buddies. How lucky am I?
Well, don't forget Stu, your dog.
Stewie, he's my buddy too. You're right. But Stewie doesn't take long to land the plane when he's telling a story. But my number 1 buddy at home does, and my number 1 buddy at work does. Sometimes I don't need all the coloring and the details on this picture. You guys can just condense it a little bit.
But you take it well. You don't.
That's it.
You
That's
don't
it.
act like the story's going on long. You don't act like it's too dramatic. You listen. You give advice that's not always well received by Kirby, but it doesn't matter. You're there for her, and that's what makes you the number 1 buddy.
And what does it get you? Maybe a T-shirt. Maybe.
No bonus. You don't get a monetary
no bonus. I will say this.
Well,
There's
I
a lot
asked
of
you to
great,
hang out, but...
Yeah, I at least got the participation ribbon, as somebody did mention here. Everybody, well, Phil gets one too for finishing 9th, because that's the world we live in now. Everybody gets the participation ribbon. Doesn't teach anybody anything about competing anymore. You all get the same ribbon.
I still get a shirt.
And you don't have to deal with all the the stuff I do. But
I let you take it.
I will say this: there's a lot of great number 9s out there. Bobby Hull was a number 9.
Rocket Richard,
one of your all-time favorites, was a number 9.
Gordie Howe.
So
see, this is why Joe's number 1, because he finds the good in the bad.
Making me feel good. A lot
you should
better.
be happy about being number 9.
Number 9, buddy.
That's what he does for people.
You don't get a T-shirt.
Lifts them up when they're
I
down.
get a shirt. I want a shirt.
You get a shirt too?
I think I'm getting a shirt.
Just the difference is the number, and I got to deal with all this.
I know it sounds like it's not like the fairest, but
Everybody in the office is getting a shirt, 1 through 9. First, you got to determine maybe there's more. Maybe there's some I missed.
I don't want to start I don't want to start numbering people outside this room. I got my number 1 over here, and I got my number 2 over here.
I will see. She's still calling you an honorary number 2. I will say this though, because I used to own a business that involved shirts and that. You need to buy 48 shirts to get a deal on the shirts. So you better come up with a lot more friends.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Volunteer. You could talk to. Joe mentioned that your girl Christy, a teacher, has farm days coming up where all the students, they go to a petting zoo or.
I think a hobby farm. I only caught part of that story. It's
Joe,
Wednesday, Thursday.
Don't admit that you only got part of it. You heard the whole story.
No, she's in school now.
So
I can admit to whatever I want now.
And
she's at her school.
So you're good. And Kirby was like, I want to go.
I want to go to a hobby
days.
farm.
I think that's what it is. It might be like Well, there are farms out there that do the educational things. So, I loved it because you get to get put on your rubber boots. You get a little messy maybe.
Yeah.
And you want to go volunteer.
Feed a goat, a cow.
Yeah.
Usually it's like the parents of the children who volunteer.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little out of the norm for you, just rando. But you know Christy. So maybe if you want to volunteer for farm days. The kids got it good at the last month of school, right?
That's the best. Is the last month of school.
Field trip. Oh, we watched a movie. Oh, what'd you do today? We went out and played football in the in the extended recess or whatever for math
they had their
class.
field day. Well, your kids are older, obviously, but mine teaches kindergarten, so it was like making crafts for Father's Day last week.
The best.
That kind of stuff.
By the way,
yeah,
the best. Those are the best presents.
And then they had their field day, and now it's farm day. I'm going,
Like, this is the best. Kindergarten.
no wonder no one wants to go to grade 1. Like, that's a big move up. That's like a lot more responsibility.
Well, they got the sandbox right there in the class. Kindergarten. What does that tell you?
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.